How's it? Welcome back to the channel. So let's talk a bit about dream recall and then also kind of connected to that, dream journaling, where dream journaling by far has been like the biggest weak spot of my own personal dream practice, where for the longest time, the only thing I've been consistently documenting over the years have been my lucid dreams for the most part. And, I definitely miss a good chunk of those. And then the important seeming regular dreams, if, they seem particularly important for one reason or another. So if you think about it, I've really been missing like the extreme vast majority of my dreams over the years. But as of recently, I've actually had a big shift in that, and actually started when I started doing the data collecting for the Pua Alona CBD sleep aid supplement review that we did, where that was the first time in a long time, maybe years, maybe ever, that over a stretch of months I was getting like good amount of sleep, like a good 8+ hours on average, and then dream journaling as many dreams as I could remember every single day. So here are some things that I found that helped me do that. Well, I guess the first thing I should say is the one thing I don't do, and probably the most helpful thing that you should do, is you should be dream journaling anytime you wake up from a dream in the middle of the night. Now, I basically never do that unless it's, a very important seeming dream that I really don't want to forget. But the process I'm going to explain to you here is the same process, whether you're waking up in the morning or if you're waking up in the middle of the night and you want to recall that dream to, document it and journal it. So really the first and most important thing is once you wake up, you want to have the first thought on your head be try to remember that damn dream. You don't want to wake up and be like, oh, I wonder what time it is and check the clock. You don't want to wake up and be like, oh, I gotta pee, and then go pee and come back to the bed and try to remember your dream. You really want to do it immediately. So once you wake up from the dream, stay in the bed, try to stay even in the same body position that you woke up in. Like there's this kind of sense or thing where like memories are kind of like stored in the body. So you want to be like in the same position you woke up in, because it will pretty much be easier to remember in that position. If you still find it hard, you can kind of switch over to the couple different sleeping positions you typically go in. But anyway, stay still, stay in the same position that you woke up in. Try to keep your eyes closed, because even just simply opening your eyes or checking the clock and having all this stimulus, this visual stimulus flood your brain can make that dream slip out your mind just like that, right? These dream memories are super slippery. So stay in bed, try to recall as much of the dream as you can. If there's a particular part of the dream that seems important that you want to prioritize and try to remember first, focus on that important part first. So like say it was a conversation you were having within the dream that you want to recall. Focus on the most important part of that conversation that you want to remember. Go over that several times at least, right? Then start expanding out to the surrounding conversation or surrounding dream area. But be sure to routinely go back to that important part you want to remember, because just because you remembered it in the first couple minutes of waking up, if once you go on to remember other dreams or other parts of the dreams, that same spot can still, that same memory can still slip from your mind really easily. So you want to be sure to constantly return to these important parts that you're trying to remember of the dream. And then expand out and basically just keep doing that process until you feel like you have it committed to memory, well enough to be able to get up and then immediately dream journal. So ideally, even before going to go pee or do whatever, you want to get at least something down to at least, get that in memory. So say if you do really have to pee really bad, before doing that, maybe just get your phone and type in, maybe not the whole dream, but a few key words and phrases that can help jog your memory before you actually get up and get ready to start typing it. And even doing that whole thing where like you just put like certain keywords for maybe different parts of the dreams or different dreams in general, that can still be really useful to do even if you're trying to type out the whole thing or write it out in your journal, because it can take you so long to write out a particular dream that by the time you get to the next dream you're trying to remember, that's just going to be gone too. So it is also good just to kind of do this kind of bullet point stuff that you want to hit, because it just helps hold that in memory better. And yeah, that's basically it. But like I said, the best thing to do, I actually can't remember if I said this in this video yet or not, but the best thing to do is to document immediately once you wake up, even if it's in the middle of the night. But if you don't like doing that, like I hate doing that, then you wake up in the middle of the night, you try to remember as much of the dream as you can in that same process I told you. Then you go back to sleep. If you wake up again from another dream, or say before the morning, try to recall whatever dream it is, but then be sure to revisit that earlier dream you had earlier in the night to try and retain that information. And what I found is doing that, say like I wake up in the middle of the night, I do this same method to remember the dream, go back to sleep. When I wake up in the morning, I can still recall that memory decently well if I did this process correctly. As to how long does this process take, it does take a decent amount of time. I mean, I'd say in the mornings when I wake up, I'm doing it. It's probably a good like 10 minutes or so on average. Then you have to get up and then typing out like, even if you just type out one detailed long dream, that's still going to be like, at least for me, like 20 minutes or so of typing. I mean, pretty long. So you add on the 10 minutes of remembering it in bed, then you add on the like 20 to 60 minutes of typing that shit out. And dream journaling is kind of a bitch and it takes a lot of time, but super valuable, super important. Some other kind of interesting thing that I find with dream journaling is it really, when you read your old dreams, especially if you spend the time like kind of committing it to memory in the process I told you, then you type it out and you fill the whole thing in. When you reread these things, it's amazing how vivid like the memory of it comes up. It seems to come up even like more vivid than say like when I'm hanging out with friends and we're reminiscing about something we did in the past. Like when I'm reading my old dream journals, it really pulls me right back there. And I can even go like way back, like, 2015 or whatever. And those memories still seem just as solid and can still picture them just as good in my mind's eye and things like that. So, yeah, those are some things that could help you out with that process. And that's it.